The third eye, also known as the pineal gland, has been something that's intrigued me for many, many years. And the more I studied it and the more I learned how to use it, I started to learn that many different ancient cultures and masters knew so much about the third eye and used it to achieve incredible things. But why was it that there were so many ancient cultures and civilizations that were so fascinated with the third eye, with the pineal gland? You can see it in ancient ruins. You can see it in their artwork. You can just see it when you take a look at different cultures. Why was it that they're so fascinated with it? And why is there such a fascination today with activating the third eye and the pineal gland? Is this something that really holds weight? Is it something that can really help you? Or is it just some kind of fantasy land stuff that doesn't work? That's something I really asked myself many years ago when I first came across it, because I wanted to know, these incredible feats that people apparently pulled off and things that people were doing. And so I went to find out myself. And let me just tell you, what I found out was incredible, and the results I got were incredible as well. Once I started activating my third eye, my businesses started to grow. I was able to travel while doing something that I love. I even fell in love and took her with me on my travels. And today, manifestations are just coming in regularly, much more easily and effortlessly through continuing to go deeper into all of this and apply some of the techniques I'm going to show you today. We even very recently manifested a dream home for ourselves, and this happened within the last couple of months. And I really attribute so much of this to having activated my pineal gland, my third eye, and using some of the exercises to do so and to kind of keep it going that I'm going to give you today. In fact, these ideas and techniques I've even used to grow this channel. As of recording right now, we're at about 13,000 subs, but believe it or not, about 2 months ago, or maybe even less, somewhere around that time, we had less than 700 subs on this channel. But through using these techniques, through the ideas I'm gonna share you, I was able to grow this channel so quickly, and we're not even close to done. Watch this space, because it's only going to continue to grow as I continue to do these things in relationship to this channel. And it's also helped to grow my business massively by bringing in amazing prospects and clients that I get to work with and help them do the same thing, essentially transform their lives in different areas. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I want you to understand this is not fluff. This absolutely works. I've seen it work for me and for countless others, and it will absolutely work for you too. And I want you to be able to experience this for yourself as well. Being able to activate this and do things that allow your goals, your dreams to start flying in much more easily and effortlessly. I know you've heard of this idea and maybe you're incredulous or skeptical. And yes, it takes some work to get there, but when you learn to do this properly, it really does become like that. And so in this video, I'm going to be going over how you can start experiencing this for yourself and also give you some amazing exercises that are going to make this work again, so your goals and dreams can literally start to fly into your life through activating the third eye. So let's jump into it. But before I do, I highly recommend you remove all distractions and you really focus in on this video, because this really can be life-changing. I'm going to be giving you a lot of amazing things in here, so please watch all the way to the end. Take notes if you need to, but really give it your full focus and you're going to get a lot out of it. So another name for the pineal gland, or kind of like the more spiritual name for it, is the third eye, or we can also consider it the sixth chakra right below the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra here. And this would be where your pineal gland is located, or the third eye. It's actually kind of more in the middle of your skull, but the pineal gland is actually a physical organ and is the physical representation of the third eye. Now, the pineal gland, or the third eye, or the sixth chakra, whatever you want to call it, contains within it just unbelievable dormant power waiting for you to tap into. And when you tap into this power, your reality creation abilities go through the roof. It makes a night and day difference. Like I mentioned in the intro, how so much started changing for me. So much has started changing for our clients who we show them how to do this over time. It just allows for so much more to be activated in your life. And we're going to be going over why that is. And I'm also going to show you how you can do this. Now, the activation of the pineal gland, or opening your third eye, or living from the sixth chakra, meaning you've activated the rest all the way up to the sixth chakra, which, represented by the third eye right here. The pineal gland, again, is in there physically. It's a physical organ. Kind of represents being intellectually realized. And just a way to think about that is you've basically gone almost as far as you can go from a dualistic perspective in duality. When we go beyond the sixth chakra to the seventh, we're basically hitting non-duality or oneness. So we don't need to concern ourselves with that at the moment. And usually in human form, you don't really need to concern yourself with that. You may have moments of that, but I don't think in a human body we're meant to experience that until we're about to move on to the next thing, so to speak, because clearly we're meant to operate dualistically in this human body at least most of the time. And so what we're doing by activating the pineal gland is allowing ourselves to do that at the highest level, at the highest consciousness level. From the highest chakra, I think we can more easily access in this form. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, and going over how to activate essentially the sixth chakra to send your energy up into that sixth chakra, into your pineal gland, into your third eye. And when you do this, amazing things begin to happen in your life. In the work that I do with clients, we talk about being in this chakra, and we don't always relate it to the chakra, but we call it a state of being called through me. And through me essentially means you're working with life. It means that life is working through you. You're working cooperatively, co-creatively, in tandem with life. It's like you're on the river of life and you're working with it to follow the current versus swimming upstream against the current, which is by me or to me, which is kind of hustle and grind, or to me being the victim state. And so activating your pineal gland gives you more access to what we call through me, life working through you, where you're working together to experience an amazing existence here down on this planet, to experience an amazing life that not only benefits you in your growth, but also spills over into the lives of others in a positive way. And so activating this gives us access to this through me state where things are more in flow, where you're experiencing things like love and joy and peace and abundance and similar states, and you're getting the physical equivalent of these things because like attracts like. And so if you're in this state long enough, the outer world starts following the inner world that you're cultivating. Now, just to give you a different way of looking at this, we can also relate activating the pineal gland to the Hawking scale of consciousness. When you're activating the pineal gland, I would say you're most likely between the consciousness levels of 400 all the way up to 600. I think in the 600s you possibly could still be there, but once you hit 700 up, which is enlightenment, you get to what's called Asmi, which is essentially the seventh chakra, the crown chakra. You're going beyond duality. But essentially, once you start hitting 400, which is wisdom, and you keep going up, you're starting to hit these through me states. You're starting to hit essentially living from the sixth chakra, or your pineal gland being activated and following, what this activation is leading you to, and living more in that third eye, or from the wisdom and inspiration and intuition that comes from that third eye. If you get to 500 or above, which is love on this scale, then you're really rocking and rolling doing that. And now to activate the pineal gland, what we want to do is actually put our attention and focus on the pineal gland. And later in this video, I'm not only going to give you a guided meditation and visualization that's going to help you do this incredibly powerfully. It's one of the most powerful techniques I know to activate this. And not only do that, activate it in a way that brings your desires rushing into your life. And we're also going to go over things you can do to maintain being in this state, kind of supplementing this so things continue to move faster and faster. Because again, if you just do this practice and then go back to living in lower levels of consciousness or living in lower chakras most of the time, then it will create resistance, which won't allow the things you want to come in. But you can think of your third eye also as your inner eye, because you can see there's no physical eye like your two eyes right here. This is your inner eye that gives you the inner vision and access to the inner world. And like I've mentioned on this channel all the time, the outer world, this physical world that so many people, they want what they want in this physical world. They want the money, maybe their relationships, they want the peace and the joy and the ability to travel, the job that they want, the location they want to live in, whatever else it is. These physical things come about by cultivating through your inner vision, through the the third eye that gives you access to this inner world beyond just your five senses. It's through cultivating this, through activating this, that allows you to begin molding the physical, or drawing to you in the physical that which matches what you're cultivating in the inner. The physical world, the outer world, follows the inner world. This is a law of the universe. And so it is incredibly beneficial to develop this inner vision intentionally, so that you're essentially sending blueprints from this inner place to life, to the universe, to God, to source, whatever you want to call it, so they can start bringing out its physical equivalent into your life. So essentially, through activating that inner vision, moving into your inner world more, it allows you to materialize your thoughts and visualizations much quicker, much faster, and much more intentionally. And the thing is, you're already doing this probably without realizing. You probably visualize, and in fact, I know you do, throughout the whole day, but it's probably unconscious and things you do not want. And then lo and behold, you get more of what you do not want. You maybe visualize that bill or anticipate it coming, but when you're anticipating something coming, you're visualizing, oh, that bill is going to come in and I'm going to feel bad. And then because you're doing that, you start getting more bills, more things start coming in. That emotion you're feeling gets reinforced with the physical matching it. Or you're maybe thinking of that that you're going in to see your boss, and you don't like your boss, and all these things keep happening, and then you're visualizing that happening again, and you're doing these things unconsciously. And so we want to more consciously take control of this process, do it intentionally, activate our pineal gland more when we do it, which we're going to show you how to do, and then start doing this more often, which is going to start changing the results that come in. Now, through doing this, you're also going to be able to release and activate more of your intuition and what we can call hunches or gut instinct, right? So a lot of people are very, cut off from their intuition. It's still there. You can't cut yourself off completely from your intuition. You can't cut yourself off from what you are, where you come from, and all this different stuff. But if you don't practice this kind of thing, it can be almost like a tiny, tiny whisper, a tiny twinge that you don't even register because you're too busy maybe overthinking or in your own head, or, in emotions and low consciousness that you're kind of getting sucked into and absorbed by. But through activating your pineal gland more, through activating your third eye and using that inner vision, you're going to start noticing intuitive hits. You're going to start noticing hunches that are louder and louder and more obvious. And so by becoming more aware of this, what we're going over in this video, and by doing the technique I'm going to give you in just a couple of moments, you're going to notice over time as you do this that you're getting hunches to go do certain things. Now, I'll go over more of these hunches after we do the visualization, so you know what to do after the fact, and also how to make this kind of put gasoline on the fire and supercharge this. And so essentially what we're going to do is bring our energy up to the third eye. We're going to start visualizing intentionally that which we want, release it to a higher power, to source, whatever you want to call it, and then follow our hunches, the universal GPS, to what it is that we need to do and what we need to do on our side of the co-creative process to bring it about in the most easy and effortless way. So what we're going to do now is actually hop into a live visualization. I hope you've removed distractions and you're really paying attention, because I'm going to ask you to follow along with this visualization. So make sure you're somewhere where you will not be disturbed. If you're driving or whatever else and you're listening to this, please save it for later, to when you go home. Don't do this if you're operating anything, you're not at home, you're not somewhere where you can really be alone and give your full attention to this visualization, because it is your attention that is going to allow this to work. So again, get somewhere comfortable where you won't be disturbed. I recommend laying down, but find a position that's comfortable for you, and we'll get started. Now, I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Aim to breathe from the diaphragm and then circulate it into your chest. And breathe gently out. Continue to relax. Allow your mind to settle. Focus in on this moment and allow any thoughts you may be having to simply drift away or float by. Take another deep breath in. And out. Nice and deep. Keep this breathing rhythm up, taking in a deep breath. Then releasing it gently. As you do this, Notice the changes already occurring in your body. Do you feel lighter? Do you feel tingling in your fingers and feet? Notice all the good that is already coming from just taking a moment to get present and breathe deeply and intentionally. Now we are going to practice drawing this breath and energy up to our third eye or pineal gland. So I want you to breathe in slowly. And as you circulate your breath from the diaphragm to your chest, allow it to continue upward to the spot just above and between your eyebrows. Do this by simply visualizing this energy and breath going to this spot as you breathe. When you get there, hold it for a moment and then release. Very good. Now once again, breathe in deeply, allowing your energy and breath to move up from your diaphragm and to your chest, up through the chakras, and then rest it in your third eye. Visualize this process happening. Visualize the energy rising into your pineal gland as you breathe. Hold it for a moment, and then release. One last time. Breathe in deeply, draw your energy up to the third eye, and as you do this, see this energy as a bright light as it flows through you and up into your pineal gland. See a ball of energy and light resting in your third eye as you breathe into it. Hold it for a moment and then release. You are starting to activate your pineal gland and should feel more energy flowing through your body. But if you don't, it's okay. Now, take a moment to really feel that energy and to amplify it. Whatever level that energy is at right now, aim to increase it. Now, allow yourself in your mind's eye to think about what it is that you desire. What is it in your heart that you want more than anything? What is it in your soul that you wish to bring about in your life? Picture this clearly in your mind's eye. Feel as deeply as you can as you see this. See yourself in first person with whatever it is you want, with whatever experience you wish to experience. It is happening right now before your eyes. Take a few moments to really see this scene, to feel it, and to be in it. Now take whatever it is you are experiencing and watch it in your mind's eye as it is all absorbed into a photograph that you are holding. This photograph encapsulates your desire, what it is you want. See yourself in your mind's eye holding it in your hands. Feel the energy that emanates from this photo. Now hold this photo up a little above your eyes and see the picture glowing with a faint light. And with your index finger in your mind's eye, touch the middle of this picture, while at the same time using your index finger in the physical world to press the spot between your eyes where the pineal gland is located. Do this simultaneously. Now with this image in your mind, start to breathe deeply again and set the intention to breathe through your pineal gland and third eye. Simply visualize it as you do this so you can see the breath that is coming through as pure light. With each breath, Your image is being surrounded by light. Keep breathing until your picture is completely surrounded by a bright light, almost like a cloud of white light. Now, take one final breath in and hold it for a moment in your pineal gland with this image still in mind. When you exhale, see it turn into a ball of energy and feel it travel down your body through the solar plexus to a spot about 2 inches below your belly button. You should feel at this point some tingling in your hands and feet and the top of your head. Then release this energy back up and into the universe to your higher self. Allow it to be surrendered to a higher source. Now, take a moment to breathe easily once again, nice and gently. Notice the energy that may still be in your body. You may even find yourself wanting to smile, and so do so if you feel compelled to do so. Feel your energy rising. Feel the energy surrounding your body. And before we end, notice that you are surrounded by a light. You are surrounded by a white light of energy. Feel that energy now. What you have done here is very powerful. Thank you for joining me today, and when you are ready, gently open your eyes and know that you have set a very powerful process in motion. So the more you do this, the better you will get. And honestly, the results you will get from this, if you really commit to it and really start doing it diligently, will be amazing and more than worth it. I mean, it's almost not even fair how easy this can be when you start getting better at it. You'll start noticing things move in your life. But this is like a muscle. You know, you go to the gym the first time in your life and it's difficult and it might hurt a little and you might not know how to do things right, but the more you keep going, the more you practice, the better you'll get, the more you'll activate this more easily. So if you couldn't feel certain things during it, or you didn't feel the tingling or see the image quite clearly, it's okay. Keep practicing and this will get better. You will get better at it. Now, a few notes I want to add on to this. It's crucial that whatever you're visualizing through your pineal gland and you're using this technique for is something you truly want in your heart. Don't do things you're like, I kind of want this, I kind of don't want that, I don't know, because this is a very powerful technique. And we want to make sure we are focusing on the things you actually do want to bring about. The next thing to keep in mind is you want to be specific with the thing you are asking for. So get very, very specific. For example, if it's a dream house that you want to have and you're visualizing what that dream house is like, you know, really use all of your senses to get a feel for that house. What is the floor made of? What is the, you know, is there a chandelier? How much space is it? How many bedrooms? See yourself going through that whole house and then condensing that specific visualization, that specific scene into an image. You know, you don't want to be too broad with this. You want to be very, very specific, because one thing that can happen, let's say, for example, you generally just want, I want more money. I want a certain amount of money. You know, you may find that you're earning that money in a way you wouldn't have anticipated. For example, maybe you get in an accident and the insurance pays, you know, $20,000 and that was the amount you visualized, okay? So specificity is incredibly important because, again, the universe is gonna bring this to you based on these specifications. Now, I wanna give you some things that can even supercharge this process for you. The first thing is start looking out for signs and kind of indications that this is working. You need to capture them. If you throw doubt into this process, it will not work. You will start just manifesting more things that give you more doubt. And so you need to do this process, let go of it, and then allow things in. And so you will notice little synchronicities and little intuitive hits and little confirmations coming in. And my recommendation and invitation, and something I tell my clients to do when they're doing this, and it works so phenomenally well, is capture them in a journal. Get a journal that is specifically for positive confirmations or synchronicities, that even the smallest thing that comes through that you intuitively feel is kind of pointing back at this visualization, that is something that came from this visualization, that is giving you kind of encouragement to keep going, or is even a direct manifestation because of it, you write that down and capture it and give thanks for it. And like I mentioned, this is one of the many tools that we give our EMF students that essentially we take through a 6-month journey, because they get massive positive confirmations as they go through this journey. So we tell them to write them down. And you know, many of these confirmations and results come completely out of left field, which is always how this works. If you want to learn more about EMF, just click the first link in the description. That will give you more information about how it works. Also, it'll give you a free training, and it'll also show you some of the results our clients are getting. So if you are interested in essentially having the fastest way to your dream life and really making all of this work, you can check that out down below. So what are some of the things you can do moving forward to make sure you keep getting these results? Because obviously you can't just do this visualization once or just watch this video, gather the information, and then expect transformation. Information does not lead to transformation. One of my favorite quotes is, you know, if information was what helped us transform, and I'm paraphrasing here, then we would all be billionaires with 6-pack abs, right? It's not information. You know, transformation and information, there's a huge valley between the two. First and foremost, please just keep using the visualization technique. Watch this video multiple times if you need to, so this information does really sink in, so that you keep doing the practice. Because again, you may have a calcified pineal gland through lack of use and other things like diet and lifestyle. There's many things that do it, but it can be decalcified. Now, the more energy you put into it, the more you cause it to vibrate, the more you do that exercise, the more it will decalcify and give you more access to the powers that's contained within the pineal gland and the powers that are activated when you're in this chakra more often. Most people, they're not even aware of this, and so they remain limited just to their 5 senses, and they probably don't even use those that well. You know, most people are distracted. They're not really even being in the present moment with their 5 senses. But for you, the more you activate the pineal gland through this practice, and I'm going to give you something else you can do throughout the day to kind of give it like little doses of activation. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. But the more you do this actual practice visualization I gave you, the more you're going to decalcify your pineal gland. It'll be easier to feel the visualization. It'll be easier to surround your, you know, whatever it is you want in light, and do all the things I mentioned to feel the energy coursing through you as you keep doing it. Now, the little trick I just alluded to, I'll give you, and you know in the visualization that as you are kind of touching in the physical, the spot of your third eye, you are touching the picture in your visualization, making it seem that as you're touching your third eye, you're touching that picture. Well, throughout the day, do that. Actually physically press your third eye, press the spot where your third eye is, and you can even also in your mind's eye see yourself touching the picture again, and just do that for a few moments, and you should feel a surge of energy as you continue to practice this, the emotions associated that you had when you were actually visualizing, and this will help you to raise your energy and put more light around that visualization to help bring it in faster. The more light you surround or give, the more energy you give the object of your desire, the more light energy, high conscious energy, the more it magnetizes towards you. Because the more you do that, the more your light body, your cells, you know, your being starts to be tuned to that energy. It's like a tuning fork that sends out that vibration and attracts back that vibration. And so the more you do this technique throughout the day, the more you activate your pineal gland, the more you are saturating your being, your body, your energy body with this light and energy, which magnetizes and draws back, that goes out and brings back by law. This is something that has to happen if you maintain your tuning fork at that level. But here's where most people get tripped up, because the same works in reverse. If you are thinking of what you do not want, if your consciousness is always in lower places, your thinking is always in lower places, in places like guilt, shame, fear, pride, apathy, and things like that, well then you are tuning your tuning fork to that vibration. You're sending that out. It's like giving energy and light to the things that you do not want, and it starts attracting more of that in. That's why people who always have like negative anticipation about losing money or more bills or poor health end up being the ones that usually get sick, or you have more bills come in, or always live paycheck to paycheck, etc., because they are magnetizing more of that to them, because they keep giving their attention to it. They keep tuning their tuning fork, their transmitter, to those vibrations in the inner world, even if they don't know they're doing it, and it's attracting those things back. And so be more intentional with this. The power that you're activating with your pineal gland will help you reverse this quickly if you do this diligently. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but as you get better at the visualization technique, at raising your energy, of doing these things, activating your pineal gland, it's time to start listening to your hunches and intuition. Because think of your hunches and intuition when you are aligned as the roadmap to your desires. Think of them like a universal GPS that is going to literally show you where to go in order to bring these things about. Now, here is an important distinction. It will not show you the whole map. It will simply tell you to go left, right, straight, forward, or stop, and it will give you the best next move, not 5 moves ahead. Where most people trip up is because they're not getting all the moves ahead, their mind comes in and goes, well, we can't do that. We need like a 16-point plan, and this is going to be the best way to get there, and this is what makes logical and rational sense, etc., etc. And the whole time you've completely ignored your intuition that's like, hey, if you go left, good things happen. We're going to move closer to your dreams, closer to your goals. And you're like, I shouldn't do that, so you stay in place, or you end up going right because you're like, well, right makes more sense. That's closer to where I want to go, right? So I'm going to go right. But what you didn't know is when you go left, it would then tell you to go up and around, where if you went right, which the mind wanted you to go to, there would be essentially a brick wall and you'd get stuck. And so you have to start listening to your hunches and have faith in that. It will not tell you the how or the why. This is where trusting life and trusting the universe and working cooperatively comes into play. Again, if you're in the river of life and you're coming around a bend, but you know that the river ultimately gets to your destination and you know that as a fact, do you give a shit how many bends it takes you around? Do you care that it's taking you in a way that your mind gets confused by? No, if you know that ultimately it's taking you to where you want to go, you can just relax and not care about that and just make sure you do what you need to do for your side in the co-creative process. And a big part of what you need to do to make this work is simply to follow the hunches and your intuition. And once you do that, there will be ripple effects and more things will unfold. And looking back, you'll be like, oh, that's why it told me to go this way, because it ended up with me meeting this person or doing this thing that led to this thing, and this thing. But your mind is never going to be able to plan that out or conceive that. Now, what I also recommend you do next is check out this video, because I dive into the mirror principle, which goes over why the outer world follows the inner world. It's going to help you supercharge a lot of what we've gone over today. And if you mix these 2 videos together, it's going to be very, very helpful. So I'd go check that out next if I were you.